many of us have had trouble finding our own authority in life. If you're a scapegoat, black sheep, empath, then turning up in the world and using this kind of finding your own authority to say, this is who I am, this is what I think, and this is what I do, that has often been hard. I know it's been hard for me because there have been others who are, I look at it as a spectrum. You have empaths on one end of the spectrum, the emotional spectrum, and you have psychopaths and narcissists on the other end of the spectrum who really don't have a problem expressing themselves at all. And then who have empaths, scapegoats, and the like on the other side. And there is that more, I don't know, definitely more fear. It's not that narcissists don't have fear, it's just they're so emotionally shut down that they can't even look at that fear. But me, I had trouble showing up in the world. One of the things that I really struggled with in this last couple of years is I was going through some really nasty shit with some really with some people who wanted to hurt me really as much as they could, and that shut down really my throat, my throat chakra. I was unable to make videos, so I stopped making videos for what must be 2 years, and I knew I'd make them again, but I just 2019, and I know that you guys have experienced this. Fucking hell, I love you guys, I really do. You comment every day on videos I made years ago, giving me support and thanking me for making the videos. I can't tell you how much that means to me. It blows me away, because fuck it, we all feel the same way. If you have experienced these roles in life, then the emotions and often the situations are, so similar to all of us. We know what it's like to be betrayed. We know what it's like to be scapegoated. We know what it's like to be gaslit and crazy made and all of the other nasty shit that the other side of the spectrum find so easy to do to us. And so, and it all goes back, for me, to early childhood, those experiences that I had that I didn't even realize were traumatic. I did a workshop a couple of years ago on trauma, and it was like just opened up what I call the trauma box, and then I just, which was so overwhelming. And that if you've had trauma, then it's not, it's a feeling of overwhelm. It's literally your brain cannot, and body, physiology, can't deal with what happened back then, which when it comes up is still in this moment. It's as if, there's no difference between then and now. And it's not a question of just getting over it. It's a question of, there's very specific therapy for trauma, post-traumatic stress, and narcissistic abuse. For those of us who have experienced narcissistic abuse and betrayal. I didn't know this. I found this out the other day. There's a new there's a diagnosis. There are symptoms very specific to people who have been betrayed. They call it post-betrayal syndrome, and it's like it's fucking incredible. I'll leave a link in the description below, and the recovery for it is very specific, and it's it's to deal with that trauma, and it's partly turning up, learning again how to turn up into the world. Right, I got to pay a toll. Hang on. Actually, so this, what we've been hurt by is what I have heard best described as wounded masculine, and that's nothing to do with men or women. It's actually both. It's if I ask you of those people that you have been received punishment from, when they want to hurt you, or if the trauma or abuse, for me it was men and women. So it's this. It's an idea of, it's bullying. It comes down to a very. That's a very easy way of me understanding it. It's a bullying energy. There are people in the world that want to hurt other people, dominate other people, use other people as energy, use them as resources, control them, and there are people that wish we could all just get along and be happy, and kind of that's those are two oversimplified worldviews, but essentially that's what it comes down to. And it all comes from wounding. For me, wanting to find kind of happiness and joy in the world and have everybody else do the same thing comes from woundedness. I just want to find peace. I want to find home. I want to be able to experience joy, kind of transmute the hideous emotions, the really painful voice in my head that tells me I'm shit, I can't, I won't, I will never, and how fucking dare I for even trying. That's my learning to turn up in the world with authority. And each conversation I have, if I can just be aware of those feelings and what's going on inside, then I can stay centered. I fucking hate it when they say that. The spiritual gurus and all that just need to recenter, stay centered, and I found that to be true. If 2019, I pretty much had no money. I didn't know it at the time, but I was my body was being flooded with endotoxins, so I felt shit. I couldn't think properly. I couldn't work, and I was really struggling. And so all I could do was, with this overwhelm and this trauma from everything that had happened, was I got to the point where I just became hopeless. And ironically, it was there that I found found surrender. I didn't know. I remember just laying on the floor with my arms outstretched, just fucking defeated. And I'm certain you guys know that feeling. I just didn't know what to do, and it was a surrender to I'll call it God, but it's really unhelpful, of course, because there are more than one God in this world. I'll make another video on this. One of the recoveries I've had to do, because at the same time, what I found was that I was kind of shouting at God, and I realized that the God that I was shouting at was a concept of a fucking dude sitting on a cloud, throwing insults and fucking hatred, and he wants me dead. Actually, he doesn't want me dead, he just wants me in pain, and a source of a never-ending narcissistic supply. The God that I grew up with wanted me in pain, because I was never perfect enough. I could never get everything done, and everything I did was wrong. So that was the God I was shouting at. And then I was like, fucking hell. Halfway through, I was like, this God doesn't exist. This is and then I realized, and that is when I found the part of surrender, which was peace. It was that guy, that authority that we all grew up with, that fucking controlling nature, wants to hurt us, wants to tell us exactly what to do. I call it the bad parenting model of God. And I have parents, but it's not to do with them. They had a part in it, but that's not by no means was it all them. So that thrown me a bit. And actually, I speak to my parents these days. I took time out. I'm super happy to talk to my parents again. And it's one of the necessary things. I always remember there was John Bradshaw. One of the real dudes of inner child work. him saying how he took time out from his family. But then the miracle was that he was able later on to interact with them, which is pretty cool. And actually, that's what I've experienced as well. All of this stuff is, I see it as the life path journey. If you believe in spirituality, if you believe in God or great spirit or universe or whatever this place is, quantum physics says this stuff doesn't really exist. It's kind of all it's so complicated that it's easier just to call it God. So on that note, I am. My name's Mark. This is the Emotional Alchemist. I do shadow work. I do. I look at those places where I've been hurt, where I was hurt early on, how they still affect me. Those wounds that I carry, which still control my interactions in every day. Why it makes it difficult for me to turn up in the world with authority. I can examine that, and at the root of it all, it's just, I have this one mantra. It's for scapegoats, black sheep, anybody, weirdos, anybody who has experienced narcissistic abuse or any of that. It's be nice to Mark. It's basically, my whole recovery has become, at the end of the day, I ask myself, how kind was I to myself today? And that's the fundamental thing that I have found for all of us. And you know who you are. If you resonate with this video, then you know who you are. Really, I talk to so many people who found it difficult to be kind to themselves. And that's what it is at the bottom of everything. It's like, can I be kind to myself? Because if I can, then I can find that's me in recovery. Because I can diffuse this fucking voice, that relenting voice that says I'm never good enough, that was given to me, by lots of different authoritarians who did not have my best interest at heart, had their best interest at heart. They were trying to find happiness themselves, and that was how they were doing it. But I was still wounded. It's my responsibility in order to heal those experiences. Emotional alchemy is what I call it. That's how I do it. And one day at a time, things get easier. I'm also going to make a video on physiological stuff, because the body, for me, detoxing my body from neurotoxins, endotoxins, has been a revelation. I just and it's really important that for me that I get that information out as well. My name's Mark, this is the Emotional Alchemist. I fucking love you guys. I thank you for all your comments. If you like this video, leave a like. You're probably already subscribed, but if you're not, hit the subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this. Be kind to yourself. That's it.